So I've done several videos on wireless microphone transmitter receiver packs. And one of the most common questions I get on videos like that is, can I run phantom power through this? Can I use this with my condenser microphone? Can I use this with an active DI box? And for everything I've looked at, the answer has always been no. But now that answer has changed. This is the A-MW2 from AITone. It is a wireless microphone transmitter and receiver pack that can turn any microphone with an XLR output into a wireless microphone, even if that microphone needs phantom power. So coming up, we'll take a quick look at the A-MW2. I'll give you my first impressions of the unit. We'll talk about the features of the transmitter and receiver. We'll take a quick look at how much latency is in the unit, and then I'll give you my final thoughts and applications where I think something like this might be useful. There's a lot to get into with this thing. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's get into it. The A-MW2 features an all-plastic housing. On each unit, we have an on-off switch, and we have a USB-C port for charging. On the transmitter, we also have a phantom power 48-volt switch, so you can run the transmitter with phantom power or without phantom power. And I think that is the biggest selling point on this unit. That is something most other similar units, if not all of these similar units, don't actually have. They don't have the ability to run phantom power from the transmitter. So with this one, you can run your condenser microphone wireless, or your shotgun microphone if you're making content or making movies or something. Or if you have something that connects to an active DI box, you can now run that wireless as well. Since the unit is all plastic, I would be careful about stepping on it. I think it'll hold up to normal wear and tear, but if you drop it on concrete and you step on it or it gets run over, it is probably not going to survive that. This unit broadcasts in the 2.4 gigahertz range with up to 100 feet or 30 meters of range, up to 8 hours of working time on a full charge. And I did not do a big stress test on these, but I would assume if you're running phantom power off of it, you're not going to get 8 hours. I would assume the 8 hour applies just to like the normal wireless transmission. If you're using phantom power, you're probably going to run the battery down a little bit quicker, but the transmitter does feel heavier than the receiver, so maybe I'm wrong on that. This pack comes synced up straight out of the box. You can use up to 4 sets of these simultaneously in one location. That's enough talking about it. Let me go ahead and grab a condenser microphone and we will test these out. So I'm now recording with this condenser mic in my hand. In most use cases, this thing would need a cable providing phantom power in order for it to work, but we are wireless. So I have the transmitter of the unit plugged into the microphone, and then I have the receiver plugged into my interface for recording, and we are wireless with a condenser microphone. That is some really cool stuff. And it doesn't need to be a condenser microphone. You can run it into any dynamic microphone, plug it into a shotgun microphone, an active DI box, passive DI box. It's just really cool now that you can run phantom power from your wireless unit. So now what I want to do is check the latency of the unit. We're going to see what kind of latency we are working with when we compare this unit to a cable. So I just did my latency test. I ran a click source from a speaker to the microphone. The only variable I changed was going from a cable to the wireless. So if we look into my recording software now, we can see what the latency is between a cable and this wireless unit. And we're going to measure it together. So in blue is the cable and then red is the wireless. So you can see right away there is some distance to make up. I'm going to pull up my nudge tool and we're going to move 1 millisecond at a time to the left to line the red one up to the blue one. However many milliseconds it takes to line up the red one to the blue one, that's going to be our latency. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Let me zoom in on 16 and see how we're doing. So it actually takes a little bit more than 16. I'll round it to 16 though for this purpose. So we're looking at 16 milliseconds for this unit. And that leads us to the use cases for a unit like this. 16 milliseconds of latency means this is not a good unit for any self-monitoring situation. A lot of people cannot tolerate that kind of latency when playing live, especially singers. I can tolerate 16 milliseconds just fine. But when you think about live production, you have to take into account the latency of every piece of equipment you're using. I start to have problems when you hit the 25 millisecond mark. So if you're getting 16 milliseconds from just this unit, that's not going to go well. So if you're a musician who runs in-ears or even wired in-ears, this would probably not be the best option for you. You can absolutely still use it on a microphone. Just 16 milliseconds of latency is higher than most people want to see. I think this excels at capturing audio for music production or like video production from a shotgun microphone to a camera or some kind of audio recorder. I think something like that is where this unit is going to shine. So overall, the A-MW2 is pretty cool. With the added feature of running phantom power off the transmitter, you can now run your condenser microphones or shotgun microphones wirelessly. If you have any random questions about the A-MW2, go ahead and leave a comment and I'll try to get back to you. If you have any technical questions, I would reach out to AITone directly. Getting tech support in my comment section is never really a good idea. But don't take my word for it. Go ahead and check these out for yourself. I'll have a link in the description. And I think that's all I have to say about the A-MW2. So thank you all for watching this video and I hope to see you all in the next one.